Alright, just took the cover off. Just slides off. It's got one little speaker inside. And you can see the bezel's connected to the actual housing here. So I gotta disconnect the TV from that. And all this boards and stuff has to come out because I'm not using the actual TV, just the bezel. This is all one piece, and you can see the bezel here on the inside of where it was covered is actually have grooves in it. It's not flat. The TV has 4 screws on this metal bracket. Once you unbolt those, the TV should come right out, as you see here. And you can see the actual TV is glass and it's rounded. It's not flat like the old school TVs were. And there's actually nothing here now. Alright, so a couple screws later and the bezel comes off, as you see here. And that's pretty much all I want, really, because I'm not using that TV. Alright, you can see the TV bezel is a lot bigger than this second season style. I don't know, looks like about ½ inch higher. So this will definitely need some modifications to fit into a dash, because most dashes are made for smaller frames. That's what they look like side by side. Alright, today we got here a bezel from a TV, a black and white TV. This is one that was, to me it looks like the one from the show. Pretty sure it is the one from the show. Not 100% sure, but I'm like 99% sure this is the right TV bezel. You can see that it's got this outer bezel that's really sticking out, protruding out. That needs to come off. And what I want is just the center bezel. So, just going to make a quick video on how I'm going to cut this up, and I'll show you how it's done. There is some companies out there selling bezels that are already stacked together that you can buy online. That's probably an easier route than buying two TVs and doing this. But if you're in the hobby and you want it really accurate, this is the way you got to do it. So. So that's the bezel to get the bottom piece off. Okay, nice clean cut. Cut right here. Take your cut-off tool, a good saw, reach right into that crack here. Took a little chunk out right there, the corner here. But it's okay, I can put some filler in there later. I know I'm not going to get this perfect, but that's one piece off. That one right here. And so I got to take all these off. I started cutting with some shears, prune shears, whatever you call these. And it works pretty good through the plastic as well. But there's a point where you're going to have to cut here, but not go all the way through it. Alright, so I measured the top bezel. It's longer than the shorter one at the bottom. And what you want to do is you measure this little crack right up in here. From the base of that crack to the top is 37 millimeters. 37 millimeters. So what you want to do is measure out from this edge 37 millimeters over, and then you can mark a line going across. That's where you need to have your cut. That will cut off the bezel. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to end up sanding this down anyway, but what we want to do is get most of that bezel off, and that's what I'll be doing next. I'm going to use a Dremel with a cutoff tool. But if you do this, make sure you don't go too deep. If you go too deep, then you're going to cut into your bezel on this side. So that's the top piece. So the bottom's off, and on the top, and I got one little nick there that I did, but it's okay because I'm gonna have to put fiberglass or some plastic or filler there when I make that bottom section. And actually, if this is going into a dash and that's the bottom, you don't really need a bottom piece. You could just lay it on the dash like that without it, most likely. Alright, so that gives you that. And we'll continue on. We'll have to do the same thing over here, going this way. We'll do a mark right up. Actually, what you could do is just cut on this line. See this line here? There's a line right here that cut right there, and you should be fine. Just maybe like a millimeter past that line, and that would be good all the way around. And the reason why we don't just hack this off with this, because then we'll destroy the whole bezel. The whole thing will be cut off from here over, and we want this attached to our bezel. Now later on we'll go and we'll sand this down, so it will take. We will remove it by sanding it with a sanding wheel or an air grinder or whatever you got on hand, file or whatever. Coming out real nice. And again, we're gonna sand this off, so don't worry if it's sticking out. It's okay. And I got this one more. I'm gonna go and finish this and I'll be back. Alright, next thing I'm gonna do is take some 80 grit on an angle grinder. And I'm gonna just sand this bezel down. You'll do it real quick with this. Okay, you see how fast I got it down. I want to go too much. You don't want to get too close because then you're going to start hitting your other bezel, the inner one. So I would just get it down, you know, so it's not funky like that on this side. Get it a little thin, and then finish it off with just, you know, a little block. Alright guys, so that gives you an idea how an angle grinder could really speed up the process of this thing. You can see I almost got no bezel left. Okay, got anything like this, you just pull right off. Okay, starting to look more like the show now. Show's bezel. Okay, so what I would do is, I don't know, everybody that I've seen make these, this looks completely flat, so it looks like they sanded this completely smooth all the way around. But I don't know, I could keep it like that with the bezeled edge look, because it looks real clean. But you would have to put tape over it to protect it while you're grinding this down. Well, that's one down. I gotta do one more for my car. Actually fit this, because I'm not using the black and white TVs. Those things they can't run anything on them. No point just to have the TV in there that if you can't use it. If you're sanding this, you don't want to mess up the sides. See how I put aluminum foil? I put two layers of aluminum foil on that edge there, and I also put a piece of aluminum foil on this side too to protect the edge here. And see, I sanded this down with the air grinder, and then I put a 240 grit on the air grinder, angle grinder, and then I put a 320 or 220 on this, and I sanded it down. I can go finer and finer, and this will get smoother and smoother. But you see, when you lift up this foil tape, you still have that nice bezeled edge. You can see it's got the little grooves in it. And I'm guessing that's the way it was in the show. I don't think it was smoothed out on the show. It could be, but I don't know. I don't think it was, but I could be wrong. I mean, it's hard to find a picture of it. But yeah, other vendors I see, they smooth this down. I was thinking about that too, but I said, hey, let's see if I can keep these little lines in it. And yeah, that's how you do it. Put some foil over it, and then you just sand down very carefully on that edge. Okay, and you got to do that to all of the four corners. You can see I got that one protected up here, and the sides to do that next. And there's what I mean by putting foil on both sides to protect that bezel edge. And that way you can get this thing sanded down real smooth, so you don't even see it anymore. Alright, after sanding it down, this is what you get. A nice accurate TV bezel, similar to the one in season 1 of Knight Rider. Okay, and here's the side pieces, all the pieces that were cut off. I could probably sand the bezel a little bit better, but I just did a quick job just for the video's sake. But it's not bad. I only messed up at the little corner down there, but I put a little filler in that and paint it. I'm assuming people that make these as copies, they get rid of the grooves up here and they just put filler here all the way around, and then they add a bottom piece, and then I guess they cast it in a silicone mold or whatever. And I don't think these grooves would help the mold any. But yeah, I'm personally probably going to just keep mine the way it is and do the other one just like this, and it'll be mounted in my dash as you see it. And then I'll just modify the back so a TV can fit in there later on. Alright, here's the 2 TV dash here, and you can see this thing barely fits in there. It'll fit, but barely. It's tight, so it's going to have to be cut out here and then installed in from the inside. But yeah, it's real close. You can see it's right there. I could probably sand the bottom lip a little bit more, and I still got to grind off this little edge here on this side and on that side. But yeah, that's how it was in the season 1. And about the goofed up spot that I did right here, you can't really see it on camera too good, but it's a little spot that I went and cut out a little too low. What I'm going to do is put some tape there, as you can see, and I'm going to mix up some dolphin glaze and just put a little bit of filler there. When I was cutting it with the air saw, it kind of digged in there in that one spot. Alright, so it's been dry for a while. I blocked this down with 220 grit on top, and then you can see the little perfection where I went through is all filled in now. To me it looks like it's like a satin black finish. Doesn't look shiny or glossy. Again, I still gotta trim here the edge, trim this off. I'm still contemplating if I want to fix this, make a bottom piece to it. Not so sure how fiberglass would stick to this plastic. So, but I think if you were just doing one-off pieces for yourself, this would be fine. If you take your time, you know, tape everything up. I use foil tape because it's a little thicker than regular tape. Put a couple layers to protect the edges. You can see it comes out pretty nice. But I know there's not going to be too many of you guys that are even going to do this because they sell these pre-made. That's an original TV bezel from season 1 of Knight Rider. You can find these on eBay. I'm going to give you guys a part number. 5041P.